Hi, my name is Kate. I'm also known as Two Little Kits, and welcome to my FlossTube. I am looking at my list of things that I want to chat about. I've got some works in progress. I have a finished piece. I have some new blog posts to share and a bunch of stuff that happened in my personal life. So let's get started. I was going to do my nails before I recorded. Oh well. This is the hardest part. Figuring out where to start with the FlossTube episode. Let's start with works in progress, I guess. I've got a few works in progress and unfortunately some that aren't going to be shown because I haven't touched on them yet or at all in the last 2 weeks. I guess I should start with those ones. So my flower meadow, I did catch up, but I am behind again. I just haven't really felt very motivated to work on it, which is a little bit disappointing, I guess. I am planning today, or maybe tomorrow, depending on how today goes, to actually do the whole design, roll the dice as many times as I need to, design all the flowers in my pattern application, and then stitch them all at once, because that worked really well last time I did that to catch up for March. So I'm likely going to do that again. I don't know, I can't explain why I haven't been working on it. Each day, like I've mentioned it in other videos, but I've been using Finch to sort of not only do self-care stuff, but also as a to-do list. And so every day I see it as a task in Finch to stitch today's flower, and I'm just like, I don't want to. So yeah, unfortunately I don't have that to share. The other thing I don't have that I was hoping I would have some progress on by now is Lola Crow's newest stitch along, which is called Extraordinary Birds. I have everything set up for it. I've got the fabric, which I haven't gridded, so that's kind of a hurdle in of itself. So I think I did grid it. That would be a happy surprise. Anyway, so I've got the fabric, I've got all the floss, and they're all in their little floss away bags, and I have just my project bag, so like this kind of thing, just all set up, ready to go. I just have had other things that I've been working on. So I don't have any progress on that, unfortunately, because I'm sure there's at least some of you that would expect me to be doing that stitch along because you've seen me do other Lola Crow cross stitch alongs in the past. And I did mention that I'd purchased it and everything. So yeah, you might have been expecting to see some progress on that. So sorry about that. But anyway, let's move on to some actual works in progress. The first one is my car project, which is the Secret Grove stitch along. So I've just finished part 3, and as of today, part 9 came out. So I'm really far behind on this, but that's okay. So this is where I'm at. You can see I've just started part 4. So I've got this little tiny blip of black and these 3 half cross stitches here. So yeah, I've officially started part 4, and that's the whole fabric. It's really big. So that's where I'm at. But yes, I have finished part 3, or up to part 3, and that's what it looks like so far. So that's pretty cool. This one's really nice to have to work in my car, I'll be honest, because of the dark fabric. It means that every time I work on it, I'm generally out in natural light, and it's easy to see the holes because it's a navy colored fabric. So that's that. Like I realized that a couple of days ago, so that was a nice realization. So I've got this pattern that I'm working on now for that, which is that side and that side, and then I have all of these to catch up on. But I will. It'll just be slow. I'm not in a rush with this project. Anything that's a personal project, so like someone else's stitch along, is not a rush. So yeah. and I think I mentioned it last FlossTube, but I did get this wristlet strap thing for it. This is the project bag that I have for it. So I can, and I have used this twice since since the last FlossTube. I can just stand and stitch comfortably, because before I was carrying it by this little ring on my finger, which is kind of heavy. So yeah, that was nice. Couple of dollars to splurge on. So yeah, my next work in progress, I haven't done much on, but I know I've done at least a little bit of stitching, and it has been a while since I shared it, so I figured why not share it, because yeah, I know I did at least a little bit. It's this one here. This is Night of the Frost Dragon by Flossie Fox Shop. I am still working on parts 1 and 2, but they're almost done. I'm currently working on the last color, which is white. And yeah, this is now fully released, in case you didn't know. The last part of it was released last week, and she released a companion bonus pattern for it, and then a few days later replaced the main character from the last part with that bonus character. And so I'm going to be stitching that bonus character because I think it's really cute. So that's down here, like that's the last section. So yeah, this is coming along very slowly, but it'll get there. I may end up, depending on if I get sick of the Secret Grove, the other one I just showed you, I might switch out these two. So this one is my car project, just because of what I mentioned with the dark fabric and stitching out in natural light. I think maybe this might get worked on a bit more if I were to have it with me out and about. I don't know, it's just sort of something I've been mulling over a little bit. But I really like Flossie Fox Shop's patterns. I like her design, her aesthetic of her patterns. So yeah, I'd like to keep working on this one. I think it's adorable. So there's that one. That one is currently in 2 project bags because I feel like I've lost a couple of project bags somehow. I'm not sure. But basically the floss and the fabric are in here, and then I've got my scissors, my floss away, and all the patterns in this bag. Which I could just combine the two, but then this would be really bulky, but I'll probably end up doing that at some point soon anyway. So yeah, that's that one. I'm just rambling. The next work in progress is, and that's the last stitched work in progress that I have to show you, is this one here. This is Court of Crows by Fine Frog Stitching. And I am caught up except for the pattern that came out today. So the new stuff that is on here that you didn't see from last FlossTube is this little torch. So the flame from the torch here, and the second half of this banner. So you can see this banner is just cut off in half. That was the same as this one here. So the teal and the purple bottom bits on here, as well as the claw with the flower, that's all new. And the new part that came out today is the flowers that you see here down the bottom. It fills in these missing bits on the same side, on the opposite side, just mirrored. So yeah, that'll be super quick to stitch up as well. I really like this. It's really nice dopamine hit to be so easy to stay caught up with. I was worried that I'd be like disappointed every time I caught up, because it's so easy to just stitch some of these parts in like one day. Like the flame here, that took me like 30 minutes or something. I don't even know, maybe not even that long. Yeah, I was worried when she started releasing really small parts to it that I'd be like, this is kind of lame. But it's really been nice to have that quick little project and just be like, yay, I'm caught up, and sort of have that I'm caught up feeling for longer. So yeah, that's a nice change, because a lot of the stitch alongs I've been doing have really big parts and not necessarily a huge amount of time to stitch them, especially when you're doing so many projects at once. But anyway, so that's that piece there. I also have some design works in progress. I don't have anything that I can show you physically, but I will overlay graphics for these, and I'll talk about its predecessor just in a sec. But one is a Zodiac piece for Taurus. I have, like I said, another piece to share in just a sec, but I am doing Zodiac as a series over the next 11 months, because it's already end of April almost. Yeah, I've been working on style that I want to do and the setup that I want to do for this series. And yeah, I've completed Taurus. I haven't put it into a actual pattern just yet. I just have the design that I've shown you. So that's Taurus. Taurus starts, if you don't know, because I don't remember, so just one sec, because I've got it as notes. Taurus starts on the 20th of April. So that's when this gets released? No, Sunday. So when this is released, it will have been yesterday. So that's April 20 to May 20 for Taurus. And my plan is to release each of the Zodiac signs that I design and test stitch and everything on the first available Monday that isn't a FlossTube release, that's within the Zodiac time frame. Hopefully that makes sense. So I have them all laid out with all their dates that I need to release them by. So Taurus will be released next week on the 28th of April, because that's the first Monday that isn't a FlossTube episode release day that is within Taurus. I really hope that makes sense. I probably said that really confusingly. Anyway, so I've got that design. That's awesome. I'm going to go back to my notes of what to talk about. So yeah, that's one thing that I have as a work in progress. That's a design so far, and hopefully by the time this is released, I actually have the cross stitch pattern being worked on, maybe even being stitched already, but we'll see how things go. The other thing that I have designs for, and again, I really hope that I have these started to be stitched by the time this is released, just because of deadline, but I have teacher and therapist gifts designs to work on. So I have 4 that I have designed so far. I also am going to be working on some embroidery pieces for my oldest daughter's teacher, because she's had the same teacher since grade 3. So she got a piece from my daughter back in grade 3 that looks like these other ones, and I don't want to do another one that is like that for her. So I'm thinking that I'll do her name with some flowers like in a circle border, and as well as her 2 para-educators in the same class. Fingers crossed that I can get that done, because they will be due on the 5th of May. Okay. So yeah, I have those. If I do end up having some kind of embroidery design sketched up in Procreate, I'll add them here. But if not, then I'll have lots to share next FlossTube. So that's all my works in progress. To come off of what I said with the Taurus Zodiac pattern, I want to talk next about my pattern that I released last week, which is Zodiac Aries, which is, if you didn't know, the first Zodiac sign in the list of 12. So this is the piece here. It's not in its frame like what you see on my website, because I've only got the one frame and I want to reuse it for all of the Zodiac pieces. It's on its board. You know, I can put it back in the frame whenever I want to. But yeah, this is Aries. As I was finishing stitching it, I was like, oh, its head's kind of really round, but I'm leaning into it. I'm hoping that it does look like a ram. Fingers crossed. But I think it's cute, and I think it's, I don't know. Tell me what you think of this. I would love to hear feedback. I am looking forward to seeing a few of them together. So maybe like 3 or 4. That would be really cool. And just like being able to see them as a group. Yeah, I think that would be nice. And the 4 would be awesome because then I'll have all the different colors. So if you don't know, Zodiac, so to be clear, I don't actually believe in astrology. I think it's really interesting and I think it's cool, but I don't believe that everybody fits into one of 12 types of people. I like the astronomy part of it, and I like the idea of having that sort of identity of I'm a whatever, not I'm a whatever, and so this is the kind of person I am. But anyway, so what I was getting at is all of the signs have an element attached to them, and Aries is a fire element, so I did red for Aries. And that's why the Taurus one, if you want to scroll back, you can check it, but that's a green one because Taurus is an earth one. The other 2 types are air and water. So air is going to be a yellow theme and water is obviously a blue theme. So they should all look really cool together. I have the same kind of muted color palette. Like I've actually written down all the colors that I'm going to use for the backgrounds and the banner and everything. It's all planned out. Fingers crossed it works out. The only thing I'm concerned about is the banner fitting something like Sagittarius, which is really long. But I will figure that out when I get to that point. Wish me luck. But yeah, let me know what you think of this. You can get this on my website, on my Etsy store, or on my Ko-fi store. I would love to hear your feedback and your thoughts, and tell me in the comments below what your sign is. Mine is Cancer. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What else has been going on? The other 2 little kits thing that I can talk about is new blog posts that are on my website. There are 3 new posts, hopefully a 4th, which I'll explain in a sec. But the 3 that I have definitely is explaining cross stitch, just like full beginner, never really heard of cross stitch, don't really know anything about it, what is it about kind of blog post. There's also creative ways to display your cross stitch pieces. That post has a lot of embedded Instagram posts from other designers in it as examples of what the finished piece idea or displaying idea looks like. A lot of the embedded pieces, unfortunately, are embroidery pieces because I couldn't find just cross stitch pieces for everything that I listed in there. But you can, whatever you can do with embroidery as a finished piece, you can do it as cross stitch as a finished piece as well. Like they do the same thing. They're all just on a piece of fabric. So yeah, I wasn't terribly worried about that issue. So there's that one. And the last one is continuing to catch up on finished pieces that I've done in the past for commissions. This one is a single dog. Sorry, I'm losing my voice apparently. It's a single dog called Finn, and it was a remembrance piece for my customer's wife for her birthday. So yeah, I would love for you to check those out. That would be awesome. The links for them will be in the description below if you would like to look at them. The last one that I'm hoping will be available on my website by the time I release this FlossTube is my monthly wrap up for March this year. I'm actively working on it still. I'd like to give myself the first 2 weeks of the following month to work on the post and like collect images, collect the notes of what happened, the notes of what I want to talk about, because I don't talk about everything that's happened necessarily. If it's something really minor and boring, then I'm not going to add it in. Then I have to write it all up, and it's usually a really long post. So yeah, fingers crossed that that one's ready to go by the time this is up. Otherwise, it shouldn't be long. It'll be, within the next day or so that it'll be available. And again, those links will be in the description. The only other thing I have in my notes to chat about is stuff that's happened IRL, and there's been quite a few things. So let's get cracking, I guess, and especially because my voice is cracking too. So the first thing that happened was my family went to see the Minecraft movie. We went to one of those cinemas where you can order food to be delivered during the movie. We haven't been to one of those in a very long time, but with the fact that all four of us play Minecraft, especially my kids, they play it a lot more than my husband and I do. I wanted to make it a special occasion to go and see it. And it was awesome. Like the cinema, unfortunately, we couldn't all sit together. They were in lots of 2 seats. So I sat with my oldest daughter, and my youngest and my husband sort of sat like on the other side of a barrier to us. So that was not a problem. I really enjoyed the movie. My husband was like, eh. And the kids loved it. They thought it was great. I really like Jack Black as an actor. I think he did a really good job as the main character of Steve, the Minecraft character. And yeah, I highly recommend watching it if you haven't seen it yet and you are interested in Minecraft at all. Even if you're not, you probably still really enjoy it. I'm not sure. But yeah, I thought it was good, and the food was okay-ish. Yeah, it was okay-ish. The experience as a whole was awesome. So yay. The next thing that happened was I went to my oldest daughter's 5th grade school camp. It was 2 nights of like an hour away from where we live. I was very nervous about it. I talked about it in my last FlossTube. I was nervous but excited, and she had so much fun, and I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of kids that went home early, and one of them happened to be in our cabin. She went home with a fever, so it's like not crazy, scary reason why. But her mum was one of the chaperones in our cabin. So that was a little bit daunting because I was supposed to just be there for my daughter and sort of assist where needed with the other kids. But thankfully on the second night, we had a teacher come and stay in our cabin and helped us out. So that was good. Yeah, for the fact that my daughter is who she is, and she's special needs and just wants to do things her way, she did really good. There was 6 activities, so 2 on the Wednesday and 4 on the Thursday, and out of the 6 activities, she participated to her level with 4 of them, and the 2 that she didn't, I'm like not surprised that she didn't participate. One of them was canoeing. She did not want to put on one of the life vests, and she wasn't allowed to go, we weren't allowed to go on the pier to just watch without a life vest. So that was like totally understandable. I knew that probably wasn't going to happen. So we just went to a lodge kind of building that was just nearby. We could actually see her activity group doing the canoeing. And she had a notebook and some pencils, and she was just drawing and scribbling away. And I had my stitching that was for this piece actually. So we just hung out for an hour, and I played music on my phone because I had some music downloaded on my phone, and it was nice. And then the second activity she did not want to participate in was squid dissection. And I was like, I don't even want to participate in that, so that's cool with me. But no, she keeps telling me she had so much fun. We didn't get much sleep. I actually napped on Saturday after we got back because I was just so wiped out even after a proper night's sleep in my own bed on the Friday night. Overall, I'm so glad she went. I know she is so glad she went because she was looking forward to it for the entire school year that's happened so far. I'm super proud of her for lasting the entire time. So she caught the bus to camp, and she caught the bus back to school after camp. So she made it, and yeah, I know I've said it heaps of times, but she had so much fun, and that was the important thing. And it was not as hard as I expected it to be. Like for me, there were on each big day, so the Wednesday and Thursday, all of the parent chaperones got to have an hour of kid-free time where we could just have a nap or go and just chat with each other. Or for me, I just went and stitched for a while chatting to someone. that was really helpful to just be able to step away. I knew that she was safe because she was with the teachers at the time. She was like, oh, where's mum? By the end of that hour. And so I would come out from wherever I was and go and find her wherever she was. And she was always like, ah! So anyway, it was a success. And I know for a fact that she is very excited to talk about it at school, and especially with the bus drivers that she talks to after school. So that'll be nice. The next thing that has happened / is happening is it's currently spring break. And I don't know if it's just because I'm riding the high of doing really well at her camp, but spring break's been doing really well. Like, my kids have been nice together. I've been able to sort of come out of my funk a little bit and be more present and engaging with the kids. So that's awesome. We haven't really done anything because money's really tight right now. It's been nice. And the weather's been nice. It is supposed to rain this weekend, which is really bad timing because it's Easter, but that's okay. It's nice right now. That's why I've got the curtain closed, because otherwise it's like this. Ah! And the last thing I want to talk about before I quickly wrap up is I have been suspecting for quite a while that I have low iron count. And I talked to my prescriber about it, and I'm going to have a drink just quickly. Hang on. Yeah, I talked to my prescriber about it. She's like, look, you're due to do some labs anyway, because I take lithium as well as a couple other things. And she likes to stay on top of my lithium levels like every 6 months or so, just to make sure that I'm still getting the right amount. And so she added in other stuff, including iron count. And I found out this week because I had to wait until after camp to be able to do the labs because of something. I had to stop taking medication that wasn't prescription medication for like 5 days. And anyway, I found out that I'm severely anemic, which makes a lot of sense, and I'm not surprised because I'm very tired by about like 4 o'clock. My nails are just breaking so easily, which is just sad. I want to do my nails, but I can't right now. They're so bendy and they just flake. And yeah, I've been looking at, I can't do anything about it, but I've been window shopping for ways to do like not gel nails, but like it's a mix between gel and stick-on nails, where you use a UV light. It's like a bendy sticker and you trim it down to size, and then a UV light to harden it. So I've been looking at those kinds of things, and I'll probably ask for those for my birthday this year to help me grow out my nails and strengthen them. But anyway, so yeah, those two things I've been like, yeah, I don't think my iron's great. So now for the last 2 days, I have been taking even more iron supplements as well as a vitamin C supplement, because if you don't know, vitamin C helps iron absorption. So yeah, hopefully, according to the internet, Dr. Google, I should be feeling a bit better within like 4 to 6 weeks after taking iron supplements. It's likely I won't be able to donate blood in a couple of weeks, but that's kind of the least of my worries, to be quite honest. So that's a thing that's going on and that I'm dealing with. But that's it. That's everything. So much has been going on. I didn't have anything really to talk about in the last, I think, 2 FlossTubes in real life stuff. So yeah, lots has been happening in the last 2 weeks, and it should slow down once school goes back, which is today when this is released. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this piece. Let me know if you're doing any of the stitch alongs that I'm working on. There are 4 stitch alongs. I only showed you 3 because Extraordinary Birds I haven't started, like I said, but there are 4 stitch alongs that I'm actively working on, and if you're doing any of them, let me know how you're doing, if you're caught up or if you're lagging behind like me, if you're thinking about starting any of them. Yeah, drop a comment below. Again, all the links to all the stuff that you've seen here will be in the description, including the stitch alongs that I'm working on that are not mine, so that you can go and get them if you like. I really appreciate your time and your comments, and if you can like and subscribe if you're not already. That truly helps me out and is free to do. So yeah, I am excited about the fact that it's almost my 100th episode of my FlossTube series, and I am going to be planning what to do for that episode over the next 2 weeks so that I'm ready for the 100th one, because this is episode 98. So yeah, I hope you're excited too. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the internet. Bye.